As you can see, these look a little yellow. They're green underneath. Never got rained on. It's just sun bleaching. What happens is the dew comes in. It was really cold the night before last, and this morning it was cold. We had a really heavy dew. This was actually greener when I drove by here at 6 a.m. than it is now, because what happens is those water droplets sit on that, and one, they just wash a little color out, you know, down into the deeper into the windrow, so to speak. But mostly what they do is they're like little magnifying glasses for the sun, and the sun just, the UV rays physically burn, you know, they take the color out of the plant. Now, I don't know the biology on that. That's way out of my scope. But I do know that when you get a heavy dew, you end up losing some color on your hay. And so that's kind of what happened, is we just had a really heavy dew. Yesterday we probably had one, not so much, the wind blew a little bit, and if the wind's blowing, we typically don't get a very good dew. But this morning was dead calm. It's 40 degrees. I could see the moisture on the standing alfalfa in the other fields because there's so much dew. Driving by, you know, it looks like the produce section just got misted at the grocery store. And so that's kind of where that's what happens. It just bleaches it out over time. But it's green underneath. I mean, if you look over there, they're nice and green still. It's mostly for our own use. It doesn't affect the quality. If somebody's getting some bales from me, they're not going to care, right? I'm not making horse hay. I don't sell hay to horse buyers. I mean, I'd happily sell it to them, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against horse buyers, but they tend to care a little more. They're buying more on the visual appearance of the hay than someone else might be. And so I'm gonna leave that one there. We're skipping one because I've got an odd number. So 2, 4, 6, this is 8, that's 9. If I keep raking and I don't leave that one, I'll end up with that one out in the middle somewhere. And I need to come back and catch it and throw it on top of that other one. I'll make a 2 into 1 there instead of leaving it unraked. So what I'll do, like last time, I sucked the rake in, I'm gonna leave it. I tried that one, I thought I could make it. I was already in the windrow, so I'll just make the changes I need to make and then put it back. But what I'll do this time is I'll just leave it. I'll rake the rest of the field. I'll come back and I'll clean that one up. I'll throw that one there. I have a couple others somewhere I left out there. Just worked out that way. And then I'll rake my outside rounds and we'll go from there. My little sister's in town right now. She's visiting from, she lives in Tri-Cities, Washington. She just came to visit, see my daughter, her niece. My sister has a daughter as well. And so she came to visit her nieces and just see everybody. She comes about twice a year to visit, usually, you know, Christmas, and then usually one time in the summer. So I might quit raking for just a few minutes, go have breakfast, because she's going home this morning. My parents are having breakfast at their house before she leaves. It's kind of what my mom likes to do. That we always will have a dinner when she's visiting, and then we always have sourdough pancakes when she leaves. And my mom has her own, you know, sourdough starter. It's a whole thing. But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing there. But yeah, so we're about done with this. Like I said, I don't know if I'll finish up or I might just call it quits for now. go eat breakfast real quick and come back and finish. It's such a small amount. There's pretty good dew still. It's still, just now I'm starting to toss a little leaf. When I hit the far curtain, I can see some leaves falling off. But family's important too. You know, work isn't everything. There's more to life than work. And if I rake 5 acres of hay a little dry, it won't be the end of the world. So, but I will finish this check because I'm already here, and it'll take me 2 extra minutes, and then I'll probably quit because I will say it's going to take me 20 minutes to finish and I can go to breakfast, but really it'll take an hour by the time I go back and clean up all the ones that I didn't rake, and then rake my outside rounds and go back around the other direction on my outside rounds and make that be 3 into 1. You know, I might as well just go to breakfast, say goodbye to my sister, and come back and just finish up. And if it's a little dry, it's a little dry, and everything will be okay. So we're gonna end the video there. This is a super long one. I'm sure this is gonna end up being like a 2-parter or whatever, but just doing it a little different today. Like I said, we've got, you know, the 2 windrows separate instead of 2 into 1 today, and I'll try and take some content tomorrow of small baling, which is fun, but it's a lot slower than big baling. You know, in a good morning I can pretty easily big bale, you know, 70 acres. And honestly, if you wanted to push it, you could probably bale 100 if you start a little too dry and, you know, bale a little wet when the dew gets too heavy, and then, you know, finish up a little too dry. You can pretty easily get 100 in a day. And small baling, if I am able to bale all 36 acres of this field tomorrow, I will be pretty shocked. Probably get up pretty early. I think the dew's supposed to come in pretty early, so I'll probably be up around like 2 or 3 in the morning. Try and get the baler hooked up today, so it's just ready to go. Get everything, grease the knotters. It's got big bull gears that take bull gear grease, so I'll grease the bull gears. Make sure there's diesel in it. I got to put a battery in it. I did use it just a few months ago, so it should be good to go. It was out of service for like 2 years. Had a bearing jump the cam track. I had to take the whole thing apart and bend the cam track follower bearing arm back together. But yeah, so that's that. Got a few windrows that are a little too close together, but we'll make it work. So I'm gonna go have breakfast with my family, and we'll see you next time.